My home is Manitoba.
My home is Manitoba.
My home is Manitoba.
My home is Manitoba.
Manitoba, a place with breathtaking natural beauty, forged from rock and water and blue sky, a province created by many different cultures coming together. Like the first people of Manitoba, we continue to welcome new residents from all over the world. Together, we build this great province.
My home is Manitoba!
Whoa! There it is! There it is! Oh, that would have hurt, wouldn't it? That would have hurt.
In Manitoba, we cherish the different seasons. Cold weather does not stop us from enjoying ourselves. Winter is part of who we are.
You guys having fun? Awesome.
I remembered my first winter. I actually enjoyed my first winter. I remember seeing, the first snowfall and would run outside and try to catch the snowflakes on my tongue.
In Manitoba, we value the many cultures that live here. Diversity is part of who we are. We work together, helping one another.
I have never scared you in my life, man.
Never. I'll give you a couple weeks, you'll be doing this like nothing.
In Manitoba, race, color, or language will never stop you. Everyone is valued in our multicultural province.
Well, I was born in Jamaica, traveled to many different areas, not only of Canada, but of the US. What I really enjoy about Manitoba is the fact that we value diversity. We actually see it as something, as a strong foundation in which we can continue to build a province on our city. And you don't find that same sense of appreciation, even in many different regions of Canada. And definitely, as I cross the border into the States, I definitely don't get that same sense of that. So Manitoba definitely is a place that highly values our diverse cultures.
What is multiculturalism? Multiculturalism means welcoming and celebrating many different cultures and exploring the benefits of diversity. Manitoba has been a multicultural society from the time of our original population, the Aboriginal people. Several different Aboriginal cultures shared the land for thousands of years. Immigrants from Europe in the 1800s brought more cultural diversity. When the province of Manitoba was officially created in 1870, founder Louis Riel asked for laws to protect language rights and freedom of religion.
Manitobans value diversity. There's a lot of support both from the government level and the community level to preserve and maintain your culture and your language, which is unlike a lot of places in the world.
Laurie Wilkinson is a university professor and expert on multiculturalism. She says people in Manitoba support many values that make life better for all. Manitoba has laws which protect your human rights. Those rights are many, but the basic idea is that all people have equal opportunity and protection. Equality means all people have the same rights and benefits, regardless of personal characteristics, race, gender, or religion.
Canada is a leader in diversity, in policy development, and in program development around helping groups of people get along with one another, not only just tolerate one another, but to really understand and work together so that we're a cohesive society. So other countries look to us for ideas around policies and programming that deal with diversity, and we seem to be a leader that others look to.
Hello, my name is Derek Davey, and I'm from Guyana, South America. What I value most in Manitoba is the diversity opportunity, where I can practice my religion, my language, and my sport, and where everybody can do the same in Manitoba.
My name is Wabija Grace. I'm from Wissahickon First Nation, Ontario. I lived in Toronto for many years before moving to Winnipeg in 2006. And right off the bat, the thing I cherished the most about becoming a new Manitoban was how I was embraced and welcomed by specifically the Aboriginal community here, but that sort of branched outwards in terms of all the other communities that are attached to it.
My name is Sofoni Batwenga. I come from Burundi. I arrived here in 2007. I like Manitoba because Manitoba is a peaceful country. We have a trusted police and a military.
I would never have applied to be a police officer in Jamaica. I have to be very honest. You look at policing in some of those cultures, including mine, and the first thing you would say, yes, they're very corrupt. So the first thing I would like to say to newcomers to this community is realize that the police are truly here to protect you. A police officer will never harm you. And if you even feel that you're being mistreated in any way, shape, or form by an officer, know that you have a recourse, that you can call another police officer, or you can come to the police station with absolutely zero fear because you will be well received.
Another organization which can help you is the Manitoba Human Rights Commission.
Good morning, can I help you?
Hi, good morning. My name is Raquel and I'm here to file a complaint against my boss.
Under the Human Rights Code?
Yes, my boss fired me because I am pregnant.
Almost every day, the Commission receives a complaint which may result in a formal investigation.
In Manitoba, we are protected under the Manitoba Human Rights Code in basically 3 areas: employment, housing, and public services. The protected grounds, however, are age, race or ancestry, nationality, ethnic background, sex, sexual orientation, gender-determined characteristics, religious beliefs, political beliefs, marriage or family status, source of income.
I've got here a guide to our intake process.
Okay.
And also the sort of information that we would need from you.
Okay.
Everybody in Manitoba, be it you are a landed immigrant, a citizen, you're here on a visitor's permit, on a temporary work permit, once you are here in Manitoba, human rights apply to everybody. And anyone can file a complaint.
Go,
Don't be afraid to seek help if you feel your rights have been violated. The problems you are experiencing may not be new or unique. To help you better understand certain rights, Laurie and fellow Professor Parvin Garashi are going to review situations that you may find yourself in. The following are real-life examples involving Manitoba newcomers.
My name is Serge, and I'm from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I was looking for a place to stay, for a house. And actually I got a house, and there was an agreement for me to move in. I've been given a key to get inside. And the day I was moving in with the help of a friend of mine, the neighbor where I was moving came out and asked if I was the new neighbor. And I responded positively, yes, I was the new neighbor. But what followed after that was that I learned that I was not allowed to stay there anymore. And when I asked the reason why I was not going to live there, I've never been given any reason. And I wish I knew. I wish I knew why I could not have that place and why the place was refused to me the next day.
As a Canadian, this incident makes me feel very angry because this shouldn't happen in a multicultural society where we're tolerant and understanding of one another. So for me, this incident is very alarming and disturbing.
This is definitely not acceptable. He signed an agreement. He had the key. This is discrimination.
And quite frankly, the landlord took advantage of him knowing that he was a newcomer and that he didn't know his rights. And so how welcoming of a society can we be if landlords take advantage of individuals like that?
My name is Danica and I'm from the Philippines. My story happened a few months ago. I was working at a coffee shop and my boss asked me to clean the shelves for that day. And like what we usually do in the workplace, we were joking about anything that we could think of. But one of my coworkers kept on saying housekeeping in the way that housekeepers say it in the hotel. So I was confused, and I asked him, "Why do you keep on saying housekeeping?" He told me, "Isn't it true that Filipinos are housekeepers?" I disagreed with his statement, so I told him, "It's not true. My aunt's a dentist and my mom's an engineer." And to tell him that I don't like what he said, I told him that he can always joke about me, but I'll never allow him to joke about my race.
This is definitely discrimination, and I think she has handled it quite well. And what is really important for her is to acknowledge her experience, share it with other people that she knows, with her family, teachers, co-workers that she can trust. There are also other institutions and organizations, from settlement to churches to international centers to universities, that are now providing all sorts of services, and find out what her rights are.
But she should also know that Canada has a racism-free workplace strategy, and the federal government has a website that has the handy tools not only for her as a victim of this incident, but also for the people she works around with. They can learn a bit more about workplace racism and to try to prevent further incidents. The other thing that she should know is that human rights commissions, the Employment Equity Act, these also have a bearing on workplace racism. In extreme cases, you can go to court and be fined and potentially lose your job if you're being racist on the workplace. These are extreme cases, but she should be able to hopefully resolve them at a smaller level before taking it to court.
It's really important for her to realize that young people in Canada are setting the agenda for a much more democratic Canada, and in fact, the poll shows that the youth are much more receptive of newcomers than the older generation, and they are creating waves of democratic changes, and newcomer youth is part of that group and belongs to them, and she should be proud of herself and join that group.
My name is Ismaila, and I'm originally from Nigeria, and this is my story. I was driving my vehicle, and in my rearview mirror I saw the police. They followed me for about 2 blocks, and then turned on their sirens. I pulled over, the police pulled up behind me. An officer came to my window and asked me for my driver's license and registration. I handed them to him and asked him what I'd done. He said I didn't look like I should be driving this car. He ran my license and registration and came back to the vehicle and told me the car was registered to somebody else. I explained that it was registered to my girlfriend, and actually I paid for the vehicle. He told me I could carry on. I drove away wondering exactly who should be driving this vehicle.
Unfortunately, this does happen. I don't want to say that it's common, but it does happen, and researchers call this driving while black. It seems to happen to young men from African and Caribbean countries, especially those who are driving nice cars. And unfortunately, there's a stereotype that this group of people ought not to be able to afford such cars, and so I suspect that this may be why this individual was pulled over.
It is a fact. There's a lot of research that police are discriminating against certain groups, the Africans, the younger people, people of color, minorities, Aboriginal, and so on. However, police is aware of that. The whole institution is aware of that, and they are trying to do something about it.
And change takes time. It can take generations, it can take years and decades to happen, but I think eventually, as we come to know each other better, things will get better in terms of racism and discrimination in our society.
Sometimes a newcomer may feel they're being victimized by the police, but it's also important to examine a particular action, again, in light of their experiences. What we might consider to be a victimization may in fact be a very justifiable police action, again, in the Canadian context. So it's important to understand what policing means here.
People who live here have created the laws and policies and programs that exist today, but these policies and programs change as we get more people coming into the country and new people are born, and we all contribute to the development of laws and programs to make our society a better place. So certainly newcomers would play a significant role in helping us make our laws and our programs even better, because we certainly know we're not perfect.
I'll get you a hot dog ready. Okay?
When I think of diversity, I envision, let's say, a beautiful flower garden. When you look at the garden, it's wonderful to see many different flowers, colors. That's where you get the real sense of joy and appreciation for that. If it was a garden with just, let's say, one color, it's just not as beautiful. It's not as enjoyable to view. So to me, diversity is bringing that incredible variety to life, that we all enjoy and appreciate the differences, the variations that we have in one another. If we're all just the same, I just don't believe it would be as enjoyable, and that's what I really appreciate and enjoy about the environment in which we live here in Winnipeg.
As we've seen in this video, stereotypes and discrimination still exist. People don't always do the right thing. Manitoba has laws which protect your human rights. Those laws give everyone equal opportunity and protection. Manitoba also supports and protects several values which we all enjoy. Multiculturalism is welcoming and celebrating many different cultures and exploring the benefits of diversity. Equality means all people having the same rights and benefits. It's up to you to know your rights and to speak up if you face discrimination. Together, we make Manitoba stronger in the values that we cherish.